You've been away.
I have.
Yes.
I want to know if I can ask 2 short questions, if that's possible.
Before you ask, we want to know where you went and why you were back.
Because that wasn't one of my I can't seem to get myself going.
Yes, let's
And
explore
so I
that.
retreat, and so
Get yourself
on the way that I
going.
lost,
Those are
I
good
came
choice
back
of
and-
words. Get
Yes.
yourself going.
get myself going. And I
So
don't know
you
why.
feel
I
like
read,
you're slower,
I'm
and getting
slow.
going is higher vibrational. And you go up here, and what we're telling you is what happens is you are so high vibrational it freaks you out, and you go back to what is comfortable, where nobody judges you, and you think that you belong, but you don't belong there, you belong up here. And so you go back and you're exploring this, and you tell yourself the story, like Michelle tells herself the story, that you can't get going again when all you have to do is start the motor.
I know, but
All you have to do
why?
is start the motor. It's your own story that's keeping you away from yourself. Do you understand that?
No, I do, and I do understand that, but it's like, what is it going to take for me to start the motor?
It
like,
is for you to decide that you feel comfortable vibrating at that level. Because it's not fear that you're feeling. You think it's anxiety. You label it when it's actually true excitement when you reach that high vibration. And things do start to happen to you, and you start saying they're not happening for you, and then they don't happen for you because you're telling that story. You are getting in your own way, and you know it. When you're around your people, as they are all right here, clapping for you and loving on you, does that not feel good?
Yes, and that's why I've decided to start doing more of the Power of 10 sessions like this, because I need to be around the energy. I'm only around myself.
Yes, it is. Because what happens, all of you, when you're alone, you're in your head and you make chatter, 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 chatter. Yes, when you're around each other, it's the company you keep. Yes, you're around your vibrational tribe, you call it. Oh, we say it the old-fashioned way, your high vibe tribe. And because it rhymes, and you go spinning higher, 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 higher. It's like you're like, okay, it's like you heat up your water and you see it boil, and it starts out, as you say, you can't get going. Water starts there, it's room temperature. And you boil it, and it gets more excited, and it congregates with other bubbles, and soon it's boiling! You want to be boiling. In order to boil, you've got to turn it on. You've got to turn up the heat. You need to be around people who support you and love you, inspire you, and love the high vibrational Eris, and not the I can't get started Eris. You see, because there are many people who would like you to be the I can't get started Eris, isn't there? And that's who's around you right now. And so that's what you say. And then you start to say, but it's them keeping me from being there. But it's not. It's who you choose to be around. Even if you're not in the physical presence, does it matter? How many of you met each other that you've never met except on the telephone or the computer, and yet you recognize it? It is the company you keep. It's your vibration. You feel it. Everyone close your eyes and see if you can feel the energy of the person next to you. That's their soulful energy. That's not their body. And you know you have that. And yet, you don't feel comfortable with high vibrational Eris. You're scared of her. So we ask you this question. We'll turn the tables. What does high vibrational Eris act like? You see? Before Michelle became well Michelle, she imagined what she would do when she was well, and she began to do that in her mind. Everything starts in the mind. You observe it. It goes back to science. Michelle's reading in her quantum physics books that nothing happens, nothing appears without first observing it. And so when your mind observes it, it's the exact same thing as if your body is seeing it, as if your eyeballs are seeing it. When you're dead, you don't have eyeballs. You feel it. You see, and you're observing it, and you're creating your reality. You have the power, and you've talked yourself out of it. And so, let today be the day we welcome you back. And that's why we start off with that, even though you have these questions that you think you have. And we are here to welcome you back into the fold. Because that's where you belong. That's where you feel loved, and you emit love, and it's your people. Yes? Okay, now what is your question?
Thank you, by the way, for pulling me out
Yes.
of that. I'm drawn to Texas.
Yes.
The Austin, Bastrop, Smithville area, and I'm drawn especially to my friend's ranch.
Why are you not there?
Out of fear, number one.
What are you afraid of?
I don't like being away from my family.
You just
Here.
said you were alone. We're calling you on your what you call your shit tonight because
I needed it. I really do need it. Why am I there? Because I told myself I wanted to be around my daughter and my grandkids.
Can
until
they come
graduate.
jump on an airplane and come visit you?
Yes, they probably could.
Do you think that you're serving better as an example of being sad Eris here to your children and grandchildren, or lit up Eris in Texas? Don't you think your grandchild will have a better chance of living out her best and highest if she watches her grandmother be her best and highest, which for you is in Texas? For Michelle, it wouldn't be in Texas, but for you, it's in Texas. You could die tomorrow. Go to Texas. Stop telling yourself you can't. That's where you feel alive. You are all here to, feel alive. We are not alive, we are dead, but we've been alive, and it's an energy, and when you are in Texas, you feel home. You know you're supposed to be there, so be there. Stop telling yourself a story about why you can't, because the more all of you start saying why you can't, the more I can't shows up. The universe, if it has ears and it doesn't, it's not a person. Stop pretending that the universe is Santa Claus. You do this. It doesn't just give you things. You line up with it. So, we want you to understand, going back to physics, the universe is a big, giant force of forward-moving energy. Do you understand? So when you stand into resistance to your highest and best, which is Texas, it's like you're standing up against a tidal wave and trying to hold it back. Everything wants you to move forward to infinity. It's an eternal process. You see? Everything moves forward. So when you stand in the way of change, you're going to create sickness. You will create blocks. You say, why am I blocking myself? That's it. There's no such thing as fear. When you're dead, you won't be afraid. We keep telling you that, and you don't believe us. No such thing. And so, do it. Do it. See, everybody here wants you to be in Texas. And there's phones and computers and airplanes that can take people. How many people took an airplane to be here? Yes? See? Airplane, airplane, airplane. See, cars. Yes?
Knowing what I'm going to be doing.
Let's say something to this. Yes.
When I was younger, I wouldn't have thought about it, because I did. I went to Texas. I took all my, and I had $50 in my pocket to get there, and
Did you manifest it?
yeah.
And how did that
Everything when I
feel?
was in Texas, everything just fell into place. I was there, but I was younger, and now
You're telling yourself a story that you can only do it when you're younger. What does age have to do with it? There's no such thing as time. It's an energy. And so what you're saying that we're hearing is that there was a time in your life that you felt brave and free, yes? And you want to come back to that. And so what other things here in Placerville could you do that make you feel brave and free, so that you're aligning the vibration of the feeling emitted when you were in Texas, when you were young, which is all happening right now. There is no past, there's no future. Everything is happening right now. We'll say that again. Everything is happening right now. Stop saying it's in the past or the future. You, by dwelling on that, you're bringing that forward. So what other things could you do that make you, we don't have to, we're putting you on the spot.
That's okay,
We
I
want
need
you to be that, do that. That's your homework. What other things, we want you to sit in that and marinate in it. What other things could I do right now that make me feel brave? and free. You see, when Michelle wanted the free life, and she didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5 existence, she hated that. And so she wanted to do things that felt free. And to her, at the time, she wanted to ride her bike because riding her bike felt free. When she roller skated like a child, she felt free. And now she's emitting that vibration, and it lines up to her, and the opportunities come to her, not the other way around. You see, you're going there thinking you have to think it all out and have to analyze it. You're in your head and not in your vibrational essence, which is powerful. You do not have to overplan any of this. We told that to Michelle when she tries to market stuff and she's like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. And we say, stop. The people will show up. The TV show will happen. The books will become bestsellers because people will read it when they are supposed to. Stop trying so hard. You're literally, by trying, forcing the opposite to happen. Allow it in. Feel it. Be that person you wish to become. Focus more on the becoming than who you were. You see? Or in your case, who you were is who you want to bring forward. And she's here inside of you. She never went away. You're still her. So do the things that align with the emotion. The emotion is vibration. The vibration, you're in a vibrational universe. It all lines up for you. And then you get to have fun with how it shows up. That's the fun part, and you're blocking that. You're trying to get into the how of it. You're trying to overplan. Stop it. Just when you were a child, did you overplan? No, you got up and you said, what am I going to pretend to be today? I'm going to play and have fun, and when I get hungry, I'm going to eat. You don't think about it. Your mother just makes you a grilled cheese sandwich. And that's okay. And you do what you want. Get more of that childlike energy. Because we don't even want to ask this question. You have a terrible question in your society. What is the worst that can happen? What is the best that can happen? And you're back to where you started. So if the worst that can happen is that you're here, which you already are, why not go have some fun and be in Texas where you're lit up, and then come back to our next event and say, I did it! And you doing it will inspire everyone to live where they are meant to live and do what they are supposed to do that lights them up. And it's not all the same. You all are creators. You're here to, that's why you came here, was to create and expand. And now, oh, Michelle's body's getting goosebumps. Doesn't it feel good to create and expand? You see, everything. Michelle is reading about the Big Bang Theory, which is really more like the Big Bounce Theory. You see, everything starts out, and we've talked about bouncing, compressed. Yes, your energy is compressed, and then it exploded, and then it contracts. So what happens is, you're fearful, you hold back, and then you're in your love self. And you explode, and then you contract through contrast, and then you expand in creation and love. You see, you have this constant pushing and pulling. But what might happen if you stopped so much constriction? You would expand and expand and expand and expand and expand and expand, and you're afraid of that. Some of you are afraid of that. What would happen if you kept expanding and expanding?
We'd be moving cars with our hands.
You wouldn't even have cars anymore.
Right?
You don't need that. You see, you vibrate so high, you're not of this dimension. And that's okay. That's where you're all headed anyway. And so, you don't have any more questions. Get out of here. You're going to go to Texas.